Hi, it's April from the Nova Garden, and this is my 10th episode of my CSA Harvest Basket series. It has been a while since I have done a video updating you guys on what's going on. This video is going to talk about all the work it takes to be able to do what I'm doing right now. So these are the first two successions that we put in together. Look how beautiful everything's turned out. But because of all the work of this, I'm not going to show you something else. This is the third succession that we put in. But look at my grass. That's what I am complaining about. Do not get me wrong. I am really enjoying this CSA Harvest Basket business that I'm building. I love it. It makes me the happiest person in the world. But there are things that get neglected. My husband works nonstop building beds, helping the expansion, and just helping me with things. And then I also have another full-time job starting a business from scratch. Someone has to have a main job, and someone has to be able to build it up. That's how it is. And it has just been extremely busy around here. So I'm hoping once we get the summer stuff planted that I will have a chance to finally clean up this garden and make it beautiful again. The other thing I want to talk about in this video is how busy and what things have to be done. Not only did I have to plant all these things and plan all these things out, but I also needed to help my husband plan out this. That's right. Look at all the beds. Now, of course, my husband did the building, but we added 9 more beds. So when you add beds, what's the other part of things that need to be done? If you guessed moving soil, you are correct. Not only did we have to build these beds, guys, we are having to move soil. And let me tell you how exhausting moving soil is. Sure, there's easier ways we could have done that. We could have rented some type of tractor thing to dump it in there for me, but that's just more money that you're putting out. So you have to think about expenses when you are doing this. So it's just going to be hard labor for me and him. Our children help a little bit. They're tiny though. They're 10 and 6 and I don't really expect much from them, but sometimes they'll pick a shovel up and help move dirt, or when we're trying to tilt it over, they want to help get the dirt out. But like I said, they're little. I don't expect much from them. This is my business. This is my husband's business. We're going to do the work for it. But if you're thinking about putting this in there, I don't want you to think when I show you all the pretty food that I'm growing, because I'm about to show you that next, because that's what's going to make the good part of this video. All the pretty food I'm growing, that it don't come with the cost of how busy you are. My YouTube channel this year is suffering for how busy we are, but that is okay. I've got to get this done because this business that I'm talking right now that I'm semi-complaining about is a goal of mine, and I'm enjoying it, and I love it. I just want you to know it is hard work. So if you're thinking about doing this, just remember it is hard work, and you've got to want it, and you got to love it, or you probably will give up on it. We had to, let's just take a quick view of it all though. Doing a view like that reminds me just how pretty it's all going to be once I get the grass mowed and weeds trimmed and just everything in the right places, how beautiful it's going to be. So what we've been doing is we've been putting soil in beds that we need. So like a couple weeks ago, we put soil in these 2 beds here. These are our potato beds, and you can see potatoes coming up. They look really good. And then my husband the other day placed his watering system in here so they can get proper water, because we were having to water by hand, and that's a lot of work. The next rows, me and my husband put in earlier this week or into last week, whichever way you want to put it. And these 2 rows have these arches on them. If you've never followed me on my YouTube channel, go back and look at my videos with these arches. It is beautiful in the summer, but we had to put all these arches up, and that was a lot of work that day. And then I turned around that evening and planted it all because I really wanted it planted. So what's planted in here are the first row here is sugar baby watermelons, and I'm really hoping that they stay the small size that they're supposed to stay and not get huge and be weird ones. Besides that are 2 rows of midget Minnesota cantaloupe. They're like a 1% to 2% cantaloupe. They're really, really good. And then a bunch of cucumbers. Lots and lots of cucumbers down here. I did plant another melon back there called Kajari melon. It's different. It's a cross between a cantaloupe and a honeydew. You'll see that more later. But then here's just a bunch of cucumbers. And at the end, we have these long asparagus beans that we love so much. Along this side right here, I put in okra and corn. And on this side is squash and zucchini. These beds right here, as you can tell, we're working on it. We are still actively working on them, trying really hard to get them in because this one right here with the string in it is actually planted as green beans. The string is there because we trellis them. You'll see what I'm talking about once we get it up. Behind them, I think I have plotted out as peppers. But then the next 3 rows are tomatoes, and that is what we're working on now. And the last row, when we get the dirt in, will be sweet potatoes. That's another thing, guys. I have had to draw the diagram. So this is going here, this is going there. And then because of the weather and because how long it's taken us to get the beds prepared, I've had to move things around. The sweet potatoes are supposed to be in beds. We have them numbered 1 through 15, 14, I think. But they were supposed to be in beds 1 and 2. But because of the colder temperatures and the frost, and it slowed down the broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower in those 2 beds, they're just not coming out fast enough. So now I had to move the sweet potatoes over here, which made me had to rethink the whole thing. And that's another thing. You can have a plan, and it's always good to start with a plan, but always be ready to modify it as well. Just know that it's a lot of patience and a lot of thinking, and the results are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to not negatively think about this and talk about this because that's not what I am trying to do. I am just trying to make people understand that if you decide to go into the marketing side of your hobby of gardening, that you've got to put work into it, and it's going to be exhausting, but it's going to be very rewarding. So let's look at the food. In 2 weeks, we will be doing our first farmers market, and I am extremely excited. So these are heads of lettuces. They are ready. They have been ready. They could have been sold like today probably, but they have to wait for other things. This is my red cabbage and my green cabbage. I'm going to show you the progression on them. Some of them are starting to make little heads like that, but I don't think in 2 weeks they will be ready. I do have some green ones that have tighter heads. Like this guy's head's more impressive than the red ones. I don't know if they'll be ready either. On the back is broccoli, and there's like only one broccoli that has a broccoli head in it, which surprises me, and I'll tell you why in just a second. This right here is cauliflower, and it is the exact same cauliflower I have planted in another bed, and that cauliflower is doing better. There's no heads in those cauliflowers that I can tell. And then this right here is our spinach, which spinach is good to go because I'm just going to pick the outer leaves anyways. We do have some oregano, and I have it in multiple places, so there's a possibility I will put those in the baskets. Now, this is my kale. It looks a little rough right now because we had 3 kales that bolted. They were older kales and they bolted. And so now we are hoping that this catches up, which it should, but it does look a little funny right now from where we pulled 3 kales out. This is the romaine lettuces. They have been ready. I'm hoping they can hang in there for another 2 weeks. They're most definitely going in the baskets. These are just onions that are growing. They won't be ready for a little bit. There's some more oregano and cabbages and broccolis and cauliflowers. And this stuff was the second bed that I was extremely worried about that actually came back, and it came back pretty strong. To my shock. More oregano. These are head of lettuces that are ready to go. And then the carrots, I'm going to see how they look in 2 weeks. There's a possibility on them. So that row right there is pretty much our first round and some of our second round. Now I'm going to show you the other second round, and I'm going to show you the ones that are actually doing better than the first round. Remember, the second round is the one that got hit hard with the frost, and we actually ended up replacing it with stuff that I bought at a nursery, so that's what a lot of this is as well, but I'll talk you guys through it as I'll show you the video. So this was my second round of kale. It actually came back. It had died back a lot with the frost, but it looks really good. I did plant seeds of Swiss chard. I have Swiss chard in the third round up there that actually looks really good, that could be ready for harvest as well. On chard, I just harvest the outer leaves. So this is the cauliflower that I bought. And look. So they're doing really good. So I'm so glad I went ahead and bought these because they might be ready. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, this cauliflower here, I'm trying to wait till I find a really good one. Look. It's making a cauliflower inside of that little cocoon it made. I think that's pretty cool, but it is the second round, not the first round of those, and it's doing better. And then I do have some broccoli that's growing, and we will see how it does. I was getting really bummed because I really wanted my first day to have my $15 baskets. And I was just starting to think it wasn't going to happen because I really don't want to make one without broccoli or cauliflower in it, or cabbage for that matter, to make it more of a variety than just a bunch of different lettuces and radish. So I'm kind of excited to see that. That just gives me the possibility of my first Saturday having the exact baskets I want. We'll see. I don't know if the broccoli and cauliflower will be done, but if not, most definitely for the second week. So this is the other part of the baskets for the first round. These are my radishes. I have them planted in several places, so even though you're looking at this, you're probably thinking that's not enough. It's not. But they are starting to, like, poke their little heads through the ground. So there you guys have it. My first basket planned out pretty much. I told you guys it's rewarding and exciting, and I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so in love with the results. I work hard to get these results, and I look forward to preparing my first baskets with you guys and showing you guys my ideas. The other video I'm going to try really hard to make, if I can find time to do it for you guys, is I want to make a video talking about the marketing side of this as well, because that is another thing I've poured a lot of energy into, figuring out how do I want to design my table at the farmer's market. What do I need? Baskets and ideas, and I had a logo, but you know, just the whole other side of this that's not talking about too much either. I want to run my brainstorming through that with you guys as well. I've just been so busy, I have not been able to make that video. If I don't make that big video at the very, very beginning, I'm going to try very hard at the end of this series, go into that a little bit. Because I think that if you're thinking about doing this, I think marketing part of this is very, very important to share as well, because that's another area you're going to spend a lot of your time in. Because it's fine, you can grow food, but if you don't market yourself well and you don't look pretty enough to the audience or your consumers, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then you're also going to have trouble. But anyways, I've made this video long enough. I've rambled on long enough. I hope you guys enjoy the updates, and I will put out more videos as I can. And thank you so much for following me.